Hello everyone, welcome back. Now it's time to move into the fun part of this project, writing the code. I'm working on VS Code and I'll be using Python 3.12. You might be using a different IDE or a different Python version and that's completely fine. Just follow along with the steps and everything should work the same way. One important thing to remember before we start. During this development, you'll need to install a few Python libraries. So it's good to run VS Code as an admin to avoid permission issues. If you're not running it as admin, right-click on VS Code icon and select Run as admin. This helps make sure all the libraries are installed correctly. The very first step is to install the libraries we'll be using. Open the terminal inside VS Code and use the pip install command. Pip is Python's package manager and it helps us install external libraries. Here we'll be installing Streamlit to build the user interface, PyPDF2 to read and process PDF files, LangChain to interact with LLM services, files to store and search vector embeddings. Once you run the install command, pip will download and install these libraries along with their dependencies. If this is your first time installing them, it may take a few minutes, so be patient. If you see an error saying a package is missing, simply run pip install followed by the package name. I have already installed these libraries so you can see this comment requirements already satisfied. Now that the setup is complete, let's look at the architecture. The first step is to read the PDF file. For this, we need a simple interface that allows user to upload their PDF documents. This is where Streamlit comes in. Streamlit is a free third-party library that lets us build web interfaces very easily. It provides ready-to-use UI component for things like chat interface, file uploads, summaries, and more, all without writing any HTML or CSS. So let's start coding. I'll be creating one file and giving it the name My Chatbot. We'll start writing code in this file. So let's get started. First, we need to import Streamlit. For that, we need to write import Streamlit as st. Since the import is completed, we'll go ahead and write code for uploading the PDF files. So for uploading PDF file, we'll give a header to our application. So write st.header and the header for our application will be my chatbot. So we'll write that and next we'll create a sidebar for uploading the files. So in that we'll write with st.sidebar and then we'll give the title st.title. Our title will be your documents since we are uploading your documents over here, which will named as the title for this application. Then we'll create a file uploader, st.fileuploader. We'll give the instruction upload a PDF file and start asking questions. We'll also give the type for this file uploader. So type will be equal to PDF. As we have already mentioned, we'll be uploading PDF files. So this is the code to upload the PDF file. We have our header, then we have our file uploader. This is exactly what we'll see in the browser, how it works. We'll also store this file uploader in a variable called file. Once this code is written, we run the Streamlit application from the terminal. The first time you run it, Streamlit will show a command that you need to execute to initialize the application. This command depends on where your Python file is stored. Copy that command and paste it into the terminal and run it. Behind the scenes, Streamlit starts a local web server and gives you a local host URL. Open the URL in the browser. In my case, it was automatically opened and you will see this UI. You can see the header, My Chatbot at the top, then the sidebar with your documents title and the file uploader instruction as we wrote. We have the file uploader part as well on which we click and we can upload the file. As you can see that we have successfully uploaded a file. With just a few lines of code, we have created a working web interface. This is the power of Streamlit. No HTML, no CSS and no complex setup. At this point, step 1 is complete. We have a way to upload PDF documents. Now that the file is uploaded, the next goal is to extract the text from the PDF. Since we are working with PDF files, we'll use PyPDF2, which is a library designed specially for handling PDFs. First, we'll check if no file is uploaded, we do nothing. And if file exists, we proceed. Once the file is present, we create the file reader object. We import the PDF reader from PyPDF2 and use it to read the uploaded file. We'll store this object into a variable called PDF reader. Then we'll create another object called text. We'll keep it blank for now. I'll let you know how we'll use it. We will loop through each page in this PDF. Then we'll extract the text from every page. We store all the extracted text into a single variable, that is text. To verify this, we can display the extracted text using st.write. When the app reloads, you will see the content from the PDF reader on the screen, confirming that the text extracted works correctly. When you come to the screen, you will see file change and we have to rerun it. So let's rerun this application and you will see the file which we uploaded is printed over here on the screen. This is the file which I have taken as a sample. It is a file for the Constitution of India which we will be using for this demo. Now, as we have extracted the whole text, let's move ahead and break it down into smaller chunks. For that, first we need to import from LangChain .text splitter. We'll import recursive character text splitter because we are working on text, so we'll be using this one. Then we'll go and create one variable called text splitter, and in that variable we'll store the object of recursive character text splitter. We'll pass some parameters. Firstly, separators. Separators are used to split text based on specific separations, like a new line. Here we are passing /n for new lines. Next, we'll enter the chunk size. Chunk size is basically we are controlling the size of each chunk. So here you can give as 500, 1000, 1500 and keeping it 1000 for now. Then we'll give the chunk overlap. This you'll be able to see in the demo in a clearer way. So I'm keeping chunk size as 150 for now. We'll also add length function. Length function in this scenario, we will be applying this length function along the length of this text file. So for length function, we'll be giving it as len, that is length of this text file. These are all parameters which I'm passing in recursive character text splitter. Now we'll create a variable chunks and store text splitter dot split text in it and pass the variable text so that we can break this text into chunks and store it in the chunks variable. I'll print that variable by writing st.write and pass chunks in it so that we can see that in the demo. So let's rerun this application again and we'll see what we have coded. I'll upload the same file again, that is Constitution for India, and we'll see how it is converted into smaller chunks. We can see that 310 chunks are created from our document. I'll open it one by one. Now we'll see a single chunk. If you can see this first chunk, that is chunk 0, it is of the length 1000 as we have mentioned in our code. Then the next chunk is also of the same size. But a very interesting thing to notice over here, if you see the chunk second, it ends with the words, the bill has been. If the next chunk would start with the next word of this chunk, it would be referred by the precedent, which will be meaningless. It won't give a meaning. This is where comes the concept of chunk overlap. By doing a chunk overlap, what we are actually doing here is once the chunk is completed and a new chunk starts, it takes the last 150 characters to make the next chunk a meaningful one. This helps us to make each and every chunk meaningful. If you can see the next chunk there as well, the same thing is happening. Basically, we are overlapping 150 characters. That is chunk overlap. So, in this project, what we have done so far, we have uploaded the PDF files. Then, we have extracted the text from those PDF files and also broken them down into smaller chunks. That is, till now, we have uploaded the PDF files, then broken them down into chunks. Now, going further, we'll convert them into embeddings and store these embeddings into the vector database. This is what we are aiming for our next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you there.